Hello guys, this is Pavel Oskarov from Laravel Daily Team and YouTube channel Laravel Business, and today will be another video about Eloquent basics, but this time with front end, kind of with forms. And I received a comment yesterday from a guy named Edis, and we will try to answer this question together. So it's a pretty simple question, but probably by learning, by seeing how I do things, you will learn something else. So let's take the time to read the question. Let's say you have two tables, employees and departments. And one department can have many employees. It's a typical one-to-N relationship, which is has many. So department has many employees and employee belongs to department. And question is, how do you create a form that inserts new employees in an employees table with drop-down of departments? Which is pretty simple, but caveat here and kind of additional thing is, how do you populate the drop-down or create text input that as soon as you start typing offers departments? So kind of autocomplete for departments. So this is what we'll do in this video. I've started a totally new Laravel project. So we will create first database models. Then we will create factory with seeding for departments. So we would have something in the drop-down. Then we will create UI for the form, and we will see how Laravel 6 changed make auth into view, into UI package, and finally we will create a form and controller to save that data. So stick with me for, I hope, like 10-15 minutes, and let's go. So in my new project I've created two models and two migrations. So departments is just a name of department, and employees are just string name and assign big integer foreign key to departments. And models, I like to create fillables. It's optional, but then it's easier to add the data later. And now let's create a seed for fake departments. Artisan make seeder, departments seeder. It will create an empty file, which should be here, database seeds. Department seeder, right? And for that we will have factory for departments class, and let's create 100 departments. 100 create. And what is a factory? Factory is a class which is in database factories, and by default in Laravel it comes with user factory. A factory where you can define any fake data for your model. So we just file save as to department factory, which will be a new class, and we define a factory for not user class but for department class. And whenever we actually, let's change that department, so this, and each time we want to create a fake department, we will just create that with faker name, and a library called faker will help us to generate any random string name. So that's all we need here, department factory, and it will be attached to department model. And in department seeder, we call exactly that factory, which is attached to department model. Let's create 100 factories. And if we add that to database seeder, instead of user stable seeder, we call department seeder class. And now let's run database migration, migrate fresh for my database with seeds. Access denied. Oh, of course, I didn't enter anything in my .env file because it's default Laravel, so I'm using Homestead. Homestead password default is secret, and also I will change that to laravel.test domain, which I've already prepared. Okay, database is Laravel. Now refresh again. Yep, all good. Department seeder is done, and let's go to our database and see what do we have here. So database, it was empty, but now we have tables here, and in departments we should have, as you can see, 100 department names. Name is in this case name of a person, but it doesn't really matter in our case, it's just a string. So now we have 100 departments, and let's go to the UI part and let's build our form. For that we will go to Laravel documentation, and I will show you how Laravel 6.0 changed the make auth command. What I like to do when I'm building demo projects with forms, I just do Laravel make auth, which kind of scaffolds all the Bootstrap UI, and then I build form on top of that instead of having just empty Laravel. But in Laravel 6, I cannot do make auth. It's these commands. So let's run those. Compose require Laravel UI, and then UI view auth. So Laravel UI in this case is a separate package now with an idea. Taylor wanted to separate the UI with the idea that in the future there may be different UIs. So Vue.js, Tailwind, Bootstrap, whatever you want. And you can actually probably add those into the package or separately. I'm not sure, I haven't played around with that too much. But the idea is that everything UI generators will be separate from core Laravel. Okay, this part is finished, and now UI view auth. Yeah, please run npm install npm run dev to compile. Right, I need to run npm install npm dev, and I do that usually from my outside of Homestead. Code Laravel npm install and npm run dev. Okay, build successful, and now we go to our laravel.test. And this is a home page, but with these two buttons. And yeah, we have login and register scaffold. And now on top of that, let's build a form to add an employee. We'll get back here. It's in our resources, views, auth, login. Let's copy that to save as resources, views, employees, create blade, and it will extend the same layout app. It just instead of login form, it would be add employee. Form post would be to route employees. We haven't created it yet, but we will do it shortly. Employees store, CSRF, everything is needed. So label for email, it will be label for name. So name of employee, name, import name, type text, name. I'll just replace everything here. Autocomplete. No, we don't need that. It is required. Email. Okay, so we have a name field, and then we have to have a second field drop down with department, right? So for that, okay, we will delete the unneeded part. So save. We don't need forgot your password, and that's it. So we will add a select. So department, and instead of input, we will have a select. So select. Name equals department ID, and then we'll have for each departments. Again, we haven't created it yet, but we will get to controllers next. So departments as department, and for each we have option value department ID and department name. Okay, we have departments. Also, we need to rename some things here. So label for department, blah, blah, blah. That should be okay. And now let's get to our controller. So we have employees create blade, but we don't have a controller. Let's generate that. So PHP, not here. So we can close that one. So PHP artisan, make controller, employee controller, and we will make it a resourceful controller with all the method for CRUD. So list the employees for index, create, store, and all of that. So employee controller, shift in PHP store, employee controller. We should be empty for now, but with all the methods prepared for now. And we are interested in create. So create will return view which we had already created. So employees create with variables, so compact of departments, and departments will be just department all. That's it, I think. And in routes, we need to specify routes web to have route resource. In our case, in this video, I won't create any other methods, but in general, we would tie employees to employee controller, and I won't do anything with authentication in this video. It would be by default, it would be public, but you can change that later. So Laravel test employees /create for create form. Fingers crossed. Yep, we have everything we need. Just class. I forgot the class. Create blade. Select class bootstrap form control. I think it is. Refresh. And yeah, we have name and department. So basically exactly what we need. And let's create a store method. So employee controller store would store the employee. The simplest option is to create with request all. Of course, you would probably have validation here, specify exactly the fields, but for this video, it's not the topic of this video. Return, redirect to route, employees index, and it would redirect to this one, which is empty. Actually, let's build it. Employees equal employee all, and return new employees index with all the employees as variable employees, and we just rename create blade to index blade with the same folder, index blade, and do employees. It's not a form, so just a simple table. So table class table for bootstrap, and then head of the table is name and department, and then for each employees as employee, we will have a row. So employee name and employee department name. Employee department name. And department isn't created yet. First, we need to create the relationship here. So public function department will be, so return this belongs to department class, and then we need to add that here, employee with department get. So all changes to get, because we have some more, so with part. Right, so we have employees, we have index, and probably it should work, and it will probably be empty if we load it now. Let's try. Employees, name and department is empty, but if we go create, name, some dummy name with form filler, actually it's an email. What is an email? Create blade, type text, name email, of course. Name email, name should be name. Forgot that. Refresh the page. It's a name now, some random department. Good. We save, and let's see if it's actually saved. Yay, we have a new employee. And the final part of this video is related to the question from the commenter from where is that? Edis. That was my trans mix I was listening to. So from Edis, the question that should be searchable. So how do you search, for example, for Dulce or Estrella or whoever? And for that, we would use a class, select to. Select to org, not a class, it's a JavaScript library. Installation, this, sorry. So we would install select to CSS and JS. So actually let's Blade. In our main thing, we add both here, copy, so add those here. In theory, that JS should be at the bottom, but actually let's stick that to the bottom. So here, right? And then, sorry, and then basic usage should be just select to. So any select with class should be this. Of course, we need to have jQuery, but I'm not sure if it may have been already installed with default Laravel. We'll see. So we use select to, and then on document ready, we will add select to every select with .select to, and in our case, we will add here, so class select to. Let's see if it works. Probably it won't work, but let's see. Didn't change anything. Probably there was a console error. jQuery is not defined. Okay, let's add jQuery. So we go to jQuery page and choose a version, any random, like uncompressed, for example, this one, and put a script before. Wait, it wasn't copied, so copy to clipboard, paste. Nope, it wasn't copied successfully. So I need to copy manually here. And let's load the page now. Create. Some error. Select to is not a function. So for some reason it's not loading select to. Let's see if there is a conflict with any other JavaScript. Oh yes, it's defer. Defer means that, well, basically it screws the thing up for us. Let's refresh that. Refresh our page and let's see if we have our select to. See, it's already a little different. So let's try to search for Schäfer or Schaden. So this is exactly what we wanted to achieve, and if we add any name, it should be stored with Schäfer with department ID. So this is exactly what we wanted. The code is not pretty. I won't even put it on GitHub or anywhere. What we've done in this video is we've created a database model, migrations model, factories for 100 departments, then Laravel 6 UI with NPM, then form, and then we use select to make it searchable, and controller for storing the data and viewing the table. I hope it was useful. If you have any more ideas for random videos like this one, and I hope it's not too long, but yeah, feel free to add the comments and let's share ideas, and I will shoot more videos like this one. See you guys in other videos.